Okay guys, I have another knife here I want to talk about. This is the Columbia River Knife and Tool Drifter. I'll talk about the Drifter since it came out. This one here is the model 6450K, which happens to be the straight edge G10 version of the Drifter, as you can see here. This is a manual knife. It just happens to be nice and smooth, so you can flick that out real easy. A little thumb tension there, you don't even need a flick of the wrist. Very smooth knife. And very affordable. Right off the bat, I'll tell you these cost about 15, 16 bucks. Most places. Retail is about $30, but of course, as I mentioned all the time, you don't have to pay that full retail unless you're buying direct from Columbia River Knife and Tool. So on average, $15 or $16. So it's definitely worth looking at. Overall, I think it's a good knife. The Drifter here comes in 3 different versions. The version you're looking at right now, with the plain edge. There's also a G10 version with a combo edge, which has a small section of serrations at the base of the blade. And of course, there's the third version, which has stainless steel handles, as opposed to the G10. Now, the big difference here is that the G10 versions have a liner lock, as you can see there. Okay, they're liner locking knives. The stainless steel version, however, is a frame lock. Okay, so the back slab here, or handle slab, actually works as the lock. Now, I happen to prefer frame locks because of your extra strength. I mean, not only is the actual locking bar that's moving over thicker because it's part of your frame, but the fact that it's exposed, your grip on the knife actually helps facilitate that lock. It helps push down on that lock to make sure it's not going to come undone. So I do like frame locks. So you may be asking yourself, well, if you like frame locks, why don't you get the stainless steel one? Well, with this size knife, which I would classify as being about medium, maybe even small, I do like lighter weight knives, and the G10 offers a lighter weight. It has basically the same strength as metal or steel, but it is a lot lighter weight. I also like the overall look of this. The black with that flat gray. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But anyway, I did like the lighter weight. This is 2.4 ounces, a very light knife. Feels good in the hand. The stainless steel version is 3.2 ounces. Okay, so it's definitely heavier, having stainless steel. Not a big deal to most people, but for a smaller knife, I don't want it to be kind of chunky or heavy for its size. So, what's the difference there? 2.4 and 3.2, you got 8 ounces. So, an 8-ounce difference, it's up to you. It's your call, but I happen to prefer the G10, so that's what I picked up here. And I do like the plain edge blade as well, so this was the model for me. Now, this little Drifter, as I mentioned, is very affordable. Columbia River Knife and Tool actually markets the stainless steel one as a pretty ideal advertisement knife. If you happen to own a small business or maybe even a large business, you can buy them, in bulk. You can buy a lot of them at once, a large quantity, and you can have them engraved because the stainless steel is just a flat stainless steel, and it gives you a lot of room here for logos, on the handle, company names, things like that. What's actually really cool is that for 15 or 20 bucks, you could pick these up in the store, or mostly online, unless you have a knife shop by you. But you can get a stainless steel version, and you can bring it somewhere to have it engraved. And you can have engraved, maybe a personal message for someone, for a gift, whether it's, birthday, Christmas, whatever. Maybe for your husband or boyfriend, for anniversary. Things like that, It's actually a really good platform for engraving. Now, the G10, you can also have G10 engraved, just like you would stainless steel. You'd have to talk to your local engraver to see, if they would do that for you, but it should work just the same. It's not going to come out as good unless perhaps they backfill it with some white, epoxy or something. But just an idea there. It's a really cool gift knife. These knives are actually pretty strong. They're not, the lockup's nice and tight. Let me open this nice and slow again. It's just real smooth, the action here. And again, once it locks up, it's not going anywhere. There's no blade play. And again, for a sub $20 knife, $16 on average, that's surprising. It's not something you usually get. More and more in recent years, I would say, is you're seeing a lot of the cheaper knives a little bit better. Cheap knives don't necessarily have to be crappy. They don't have to be poor quality. You can see Columbia River Knife and Tool has created a knife for less than $20 that actually can hold up. You can actually use this for cutting tasks, and you don't have to worry about it falling apart on you. It is a very a strong knife for what it is. This happens to have dual thumb studs on here. Now, I am a righty, and I don't practice using my left hand at all, but I can show you just in my left hand here. I can open it with a thumb stud, and it's a little awkward because I'm pulling up instead of pushing down like I'm used to, but I can close that blade as well safely without cutting myself. So open, and I want to get a better grip on there, and close, lefty. Of course, righty feels a little more natural to me, but anyway, it is ambidextrous. Pocket clip on this is not swappable. It's stuck in that position. However, because it is a smaller knife, you could just take that pocket clip off and drop that into your front pocket or wherever you may want the knife. You don't need to clip on there. Generally, smaller knives, I would say this is about the biggest knife I would put in my pocket, or excuse me, the smallest knife I would put in my pocket clipped. Anything smaller than this, I would probably take the pocket clip off and just drop it, down in my pocket. But it is removable if you want. Speaking of the clip, it's definitely a good clip. It's a little bit stiff. For my liking, I would probably take the. I mean, if I was going to carry this knife often, I would take the clip off and just bend it just a tiny bit. Personal preference. Some people like them nice and tight because you're not going to lose the knife. But to be honest, when I carry this knife, I am going to take the clip off and I'm going to put it in my pocket as probably a backup knife. But it's really nice. It's got a cool look to it. Again, that flat gray. That is a titanium nitride coating, but in gray. We're used to, I mean, me anyway, I can talk for myself. I'm used to seeing the titanium nitride in black, which is very common. But the gray is a nice contrast. It still has that kind of bare metal look, but it's a lot more subdued and a duller gray. It's really nice. And of course, you get that nice shiny, sharp edge flashing at you. As I mentioned before, let me go back to the clip here. It's not swappable or reversible. You're stuck with it in the right-handed carry tip down position. So something to think about too. If you're, maybe if you're a lefty and you wanted this knife, you can't really clip it to your. I mean, you can clip it to your pocket. It's just when you take it out, you have to just flip it around. It's not really a big deal at all. I don't know why some people get kind of uppity about that, and they won't even buy a knife if it's not, swappable and you can move it all around. I mean, if you have some simple tools at home, you can actually tap your own holes to move that clip if you really felt the need to. But anyway, just wanted to mention that. It is nice and sharp, and I was going to get some paper for a paper test, but I figure I'll change things up a little bit and I'll use these thick plastic straps. This is something I cut often at work. It's actually one of the biggest things that I do use at work, my knives for, and that's these heavy-duty plastic straps. These are on a lot of the bundle newspapers and flyers and such. And very, very tough stuff. So I want to do some quick little cuts with this, see how it works. And it goes through very easily. It's a very sharp knife. So a couple more passes through here. Another one. And you get the idea. It glides through like nothing. It is nice and sharp right from the factory. Let me actually take one of these pieces here and I'll try to kind of cut the side here and show you as well. And you can see that. Let me try to get one that's kind of straight here. The other one was bending on me. I mean, the actual thing was bent. But now this is nice and straight. I want to just kind of show you doing some fine cuts. Kind of peeling these back. Actually, I'll get my little jeweler's loop to show you this because these are pretty small. Alright, it's coming close. Take a peek at that. See, a nice little fine cutting on this as well. So it is nice and sharp. This is a 8 CR14 MOV blade. Talked about that in the past. Oh, dimensions. I didn't mention any dimensions yet. The blade is 2 7/8 inches long, and the handle is 3 5/8 inches long, making the whole knife 6.5 inches open. So you can see that in my hand. Kind of give you a reference here. By the way, someone asked me about my little. It's not really a scar yet, but my little boo-boo. That was actually from my Leatherman Wave. I was gripping down on something, and the pliers slipped off and pinched my hand. Did not feel too good. But anyway, totally off topic there, but I know some people asked, so I figured I'd mention it in the video. Alright, so anyway, the Drifter is it's a fantastic little knife. Again, very affordable. I know a lot of you guys aren't looking to spend a whole lot of money for a user knife, or even if you're collecting knives, you don't have to buy, $600-700 custom knives. you can have a very cool little collection of knives like this. There's nothing wrong with these for collecting. A lot of people don't like collecting cheaper knives because they don't retain value, and they can't make money on them. I never really understood why people buy knives, as an investment to kind of. I mean, some people have knife collections to save and hopefully pass on, and then their kids will have knives and they can sell them and make money on them. I don't really see the point in that. I mean, if you want to pass on a collection just to keep it in the family, I think that's great. But anyway, the whole point here is that you don't necessarily have to get expensive stuff to collect. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who collect cheaper knives, and this would be just as cool to throw in a collection as it is to use. So again, for 15, 16 bucks, it's a fantastic little knife. I like it quite a bit. There's a lot of these cheaper but effective knives in the market. I mean, it's pretty good competition out there. And I have to say, Columbia River Knife and Tool kind of stepped up to the plate here with the Drifter. Nice little knife. So there it is, the Columbia River Knife and Tool Drifter in G10. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it for you. I definitely would say get out there and if you can get one, pick one up. I think you'll like it. Thanks for your time. Take care.